Hello and welcome to another wild, woolly, and wonderful session of the Screensavers. And we just hit something with the gym. I'm Patrick Norton.
And I'm Leo Laporte. Everything's going to be okay.
Don't worry, folks.
Thanks for joining us. Coming up in today's show, we're going to show you how to program the Macintosh, the easy way and the hard way.
The hard way? Do we want to do the hard way?
We can do it two ways. We can do it the easy way, or we can do it the hard way.
I'm feeling kind of like I'm in a Dirty Harry movie all of a sudden.
On that note,
we're going to have self-televised TV personality Alex Bennett. He's come on by. He's going to show us how to produce and star in your own, or his own in this case, TV show.
This is so cool. You basically can now do your own TV show from your basement using computer technology. We'll show you how. Then Sumi Das takes a fresh look at high-tech's hottest design firm, Frog Design. They've done some of the Mac stuff. They're an incredible company.
Beautiful stuff.
Fresh gear.
Should we do the fresh gear thing today?
Fresh gear. Fresh gear.
And then, if that wasn't enough, we're going to give you a tutorial.
There's more?
Yes. More.
There's more?
Don't order yet, folks. No, we're going to give you a tutorial on installing software in Linux and how to make it hurt a lot less. But before we introduce today's topic in the chat room, we're going to check on the final results of our last poll. Are you afraid of Echelon, that all-seeing thing in the sky? 22% of you say, yes, I'm afraid. 25% of you say, no, I'm not afraid. 53% of you say, they're listening. They're here. Leo sees dead people.
So today in the chat room, we've got an interesting question for you. Apparently what is it, a British scientist?
No, it's worse. It's one of our own. It's
MIT? Oh, man. They're currently attempting to train parrots to surf the Internet because they're bored at home when you're at work.
Is that a lie?
So this is not a joke, folks. What they're doing is
that is a joke.
This is not a live parrot. I think you probably know that.
No parrots were harmed.
It's slicing. So what they got the Polly, it's got a web browser up here, and they're trying to teach it. I guess to put birdseed on the F2 key or something.
People find this?
Like this. And then Polly gets to see pictures of other birds and pets and stuff. Anyway, what do you think? Do your pets need to surf? That's the question of the day.
You know what? Neither one of us can say this is great. MIT money. I know guys that are doing graduate work there. I know a friend who's a doctoral candidate. I'm going to call them and say Bilal.
No,
is this for real?
No, it is for real. You can get a video right now for your dog, because if you leave your dog at home and you'll run it on your VCR all the time, and there's other dogs on the video for the dogs to interact with and play with. And it's just, it's a big problem nowadays with pets who are home, alone, and lonely.
Let me see if I get this straight. It's okay to have latchkey children, but it's not okay to have latchkey pets.
Not allowed. Not allowed. No! God, that bird can fly. So, what do you think? Do your pets need to surf? Take our web poll at thescreensavers.com. While you're there, there's a whole talkback doohickey that you can fill it in and let the rest of the Screensavers audience know.
Let it all out.
Tell us about your pet and why your pet needs to perform or something.
Internet miracles? Why your pet needs around? Yeah, I'd love to see the essay on that. Oh, man. Should we ask them? Should we even bother to add? You want to call? You want to tell us on the telephone about your pet experience?
Or ask us a question.
Call us up 888-989-7879 to ring us up with your long-winded story of how you think your pet should be able to browse. You can also chat with us about pets or any other computer topic at chat.zdnet.com. But where do they have to go to find us?
That's the Screensavers room, unless, my friends, you have one of these.
A genuine screen. Oh, wait.
You have one of these net cams. You unplugged it. A net cam, and you want to be on the net cam on the TV show. Go to the net cam Cineplex. Then it's a special room just for you. And in the net cam Cineplex, our attendants today are Shannon and John Mark.
Hi.
How you doing, Shannon?
Oh, we're working. You see, you caught me in mid-type.
All right. I can't hear words you're saying, but I'm sure you're having a good time.
You can't hear me.
Talking to your sweater.
I'm talking to you.
For a moment.
I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you.
John Mark looks like he's
I am trying to talk to you now.
Once again, to be on television, he's going, I can't believe.
I'm on TV.
What am I doing here? If you get on the net cam, you get these.
The fabulous.
Fabulous. Screensavers magnetic picture frames. Suitable for framing. That's exactly what we did, actually. We've got Odelia with television and film superstar Bruce Campbell. Who's Bruce Campbell?
I have no idea.
But she's there on the fridge.
Campbell. I've never heard of Bruce Campbell. Wasn't he on...
He's very handsome, but so is she.
Oh, he was always in
Xena.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, you know what? No wonder we never saw him on Xena. We weren't watching the guys getting their butts.
There you go. That's great.
Oh, my God.
You too can get your picture on the fridge. Send it to the screensavers at zdtv.com. Make fridge picture the subject line. All right, let's move on because I'm bored.
Oh, boy.
Keith's on the ZDTV Netcam Network from Pine Beach, New Jersey. Hi, Keith.
Hey, Leo. Hey, Todd. How you guys doing?
Great. Hey, a little warm in Pine Beach today?
Yeah, a little hot and humid.
Yeah, I see you've stripped down. That's good.
Yeah.
What's
I had a great time in Tom's River when you guys were there.
Oh, that was fun. Did you come out and say hi?
Yeah, we were the first 12 ones there.
Oh, I remember you.
Yeah, I don't know. I got your shirt on that you really like, but they tell me I can't show anything here.
Well, let's see. What do you mean they can't tell you can't show?
Well, they told me not to advertise, but...
Go ahead. Let's see the shirt.
Oh, yeah.
That's you have the shirt from the final assembly plant in York, PA. Is that right?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, yeah. That's very cool. Very cool.
You got one coming out to you, Leo, so...
Pardon me?
You got one coming out to you. You liked it so much.
Oh, that's wonderful, Keith. Well, now we better answer your question. What can we do for you?
Hey, is it really worth putting a 66 controller card in? Because I had a lot of problems. The first one I used, I had a 33 motherboard with the 440BX AGP chipset, and when I put the NVIDIA video card in there, I had a lot of problems using the controller card, and when I pulled it out, I had no more problems.
Well, then that sounds like a bad thing to do.
So I got another system going together, and I'm thinking about putting a card in there.
Chances are the reason you had a problem, by the way, in the other system is that for the slot you chose conflicted with something else. It was probably just a resource conflict.
Right.
That's what I thought first, and I started swapping things around.
You put another slot? Did you put?
Yeah, I sure did.
And it still had problems.
Yep, and I stripped the drivers out for the video card, reloaded them, and reloaded the software for the controller card. And it worked good with data, but once you started playing video games, the video would lock up.
That's interesting. But it does sound like that. It sounds like your AGP slot is conflicting with the PCI.
Did you call up? I assume it was a Promise card?
Yes. Yep.
Did you try calling up Promise to see if they had any awareness of the conflicts with either the motherboard or...
went to their website and talked to one of their techs, and they told me that it shouldn't be their problem.
Well, you know what? Let's just tell you our experience with the board. We've had good luck with the board, right?
It's a nice board.
We love the board.
Yeah.
Ultra DMA 66 makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
The burst mode stuff is bull caca. That doesn't matter, because nothing.
It's a highly technical term, by the way.
That's right. Nothing ever runs at that speed, right? So they say, burst mode, 33 megabits per second on the UDMA 33, but nothing ever ran that fast. And even if it did, it could only do it for like 1/10 of 1 second, one burst of data, right? So. And that's it. And after that, it had to slow down because it was like me. It couldn't run, for more than a second or two.
Mark will pay for that.
Same thing with the 66. Great, 66 megabit burst or megabyte burst, but after that it goes back to a slower sustained throughput. However, my experience has been that the slower sustained throughput, which is what you really care about, is still about twice as fast. Partly that's the drives, right? These new drives are 7,200 RPM. They have 2 megabytes of cache.
The biggest difference, going with the new drives will actually help out a lot. Do you need it? You know what? Your Ultra 66 drives will connect perfectly fine to your Ultra 33. Chances are, try stripping out the Ultra 66 card. If it solves your conflict problem, great. You know what I mean? Like Leo said, you want the performance.
Well, no, he's thinking about a new system. Obviously, he's not going to use on the old system. I think that's probably...
Yeah, that's right. I want to put it on I'm putting a new one together, and I'm going to use the same board because I have good luck with the board.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of up in the air. I got the card laying here, and I got my voodoo doll with the needles, and I'm wondering,
Hey, Keith.
Yes.
What's the motherboard? What's the brand name?
Yeah.
Intel. It's an Intel board.
Oh, no wonder. Those things are...
Oh, my.
Motherboard. I'm not that crazy about the Intel, to be honest.
Yeah, the Intels are basically with the Intel motherboards. You know what? Use everything down on the Intel motherboard. Don't start plugging 66 boards into it.
I agree. I agree.
Just, you know what I mean? The reason you use an Intel motherboard is because it's incredibly stable as is. With the 66 board, you know what? Go ahead, get an 8-bit motherboard.
Get any new motherboard you get will have UDMA 66 on it.
And then you don't have to worry about using the card, period.
You know it'll work.
Sell it on eBay.
$40.
Oh, man.
Thank you, Keith. I'm looking forward to this shirt, because I am a Harley guy.
Or a Harley Las Vegas kind of stuff.
Get my motor running. Head out on the highway.
After the break, me and the stunner here are going to stop the heart with installing software in Linux when the screensavers. I think this is a roll on.
I was born to be wild, man.
He was born to be wild, folks. We'll be right back. Time once again now for our weekly alternative segment, a neat tip or trick about an alternative operating system or device. This week's tip, we're going to reduce a little bit of the pain you might associate with installing software in the Linux operating systems. Now, as most Linux newbies know, half the fun and pain in Linux comes from software installation. It's got this amazing selection of free software. If you can actually get it. Leo's got this, I've never had trouble with Linux software.
Works fine for me. No, it is. It's a mess.
The biggest thing is, if you come from a Windows background or a Macintosh background, you used to actually, Mac, you drag a file onto the hard drive. Windows, you double-click on an executable. Bada boom, bada bing.
They all come with installers.
Exactly.
Not one Linux program. Well, a few come with installers, but only the big ones like Corel, WordPerfect, things like that.
So, you download a file, you got to deal with stuff like tar and gzip and gunzip and
where does it go and how do you do it?
And you have to manually take these chunks and basically either spit them in individual files in the system yourself, or you deal with something very cool. A package manager, the Red Hat package manager, the thing that makes of Red Hat the favorite word of every geek that runs Linux.
It was I think the single most important feature of Red Hat.
So basically, the basic idea is that a package manager actually looks around in the inside of your system. It keeps an idea of what's going on inside of your system. Takes a look at all these individual files that make up a software installation. You may not realize it, but you pry open a Windows software installation. There'll be dozens of folders, tons of files. And your Windows installation, your Mac installation, generally already, I like to use the word puke for the sheer joy, but pukes all those files up into the various appropriate locations inside your system.
They don't do it. That's all I ask.
Exactly. At least not on there, right? So what the RPM does is it doesn't really actually install them per se, but it keeps a line on everything that's going on inside your system. It looks at all the libraries that are available on your Linux distribution, and it manages and keeps an eye on what's actually going on, what's installed where. I can tell you where to put these files when you load them.
There's a command line-based version of RPM, which you can use. If you download an RPM file, it's very simple. You'll type RPM, and usually you'll use U, which is upgrade, and then you'll put the name of the file, which will actually install the file. But if you're using X window, so much easier to use one of the X window based.
Just despise command lines because we saw the Macintosh when we were young and impressionable. And you just let go of
ruin you for a good command line.
What are you going to do?
The KDE, for instance, comes with K package, which is an interface to RPM. This actually is very cool because, for instance, we've installed a package. It shows you what files are installed, where they're installed. It tells you a description of the package, when it was installed, the build of the package. You can even use this to uninstall, which is very nice. So if you've got KDE installed, you're going to want to go to the utilities directory and run K package. You have to do this as root if you want to install things because K package most packages require you to be root.
Make sure you're the root, folks.
So a lot of times on Linux, you can't get a binary. You can't get an RPM. In that case, you'll be using tar. Right. You'll be compiling. You'll be making. But if you can download software with that .rpm extension, and you can use either the command line or K package, it's going to make so much of a difference. So much of a difference. Make it much, much easier.
Listen to him, folks. He speaks truth. To learn more about today's tip or any past alternatives, visit our outstanding website at thescreensavers.com. Should we do a question?
Let's do a question. I feel questionable.
Mark joins us on the ZDTV Netcam Network from beautiful Elk Mound. Elk Mound?
That's where they bury the elks.
Elk Mound, Wisconsin. What's up, Mark?
Hey, Patrick and Leo.
Hey, Mark. How you doing? You got a pizza on the wall back there? What is that?
What? Oh, it's a painting.
Oh, all right.
A painting of a pizza?
It's a porthole. You can't really see it.
Oh, that's cool.
I like it.
That's cool.
So you got a question for us?
Yeah, I'm having some problems setting up a dual monitor.
Okay.
I'm running a system that's dual booting Windows 98 and Windows 2000.
Okay.
And I'm just wondering, well, first of all, are there any just general tips that you guys can tell me? And second of all, are there any specific chipsets that you guys think are good for that?
Doing two monitors is very tough. Ostensibly, when Windows 98 came out, that was one of the new features, and they have a help file that makes it sound so easy. You just put in two cards. Two monitors, and everything is simple.
Oh, hoo-oh-ha.
Have you bought the cards already?
I've been through about 4 cards, replacing them and returning them.
And not one has worked, right?
Well, one worked, but that was my roommate, so I had to give it back to him.
One of the things we found, Mark, and we've done this a number of times. You've done it, I know. Roger is the king of pain when it comes to installing dual monitors.
He's sweating from across the room right now. Don't make me do it again.
Because the Windows development team had ATI cards everywhere, it's been our experience that the ATI cards usually work pretty well, right?
Yeah.
How about you, Roger? Has that been you don't mic, so all you can do is say nod or shake your head.
Yes.
Okay.
He's saying he loves it when we do this.
We do this intentionally. I don't want to mic him. It's much more fun if he goes like this. Roger, are there any other cards that you like a lot? Just nod or shake your head. Yes. What cards do you like better as well?
Actually, if you use very generic video cards, like ones based on the original S3 chipset, and you use them like multiple versions of them, they work fine.
What about AGP and PCI? Obviously, you don't have two AGP ports.
You can use them as a default. The PCI will boot first unless your BIOS.
Say that again. The PCI, not the AGP.
The PCI will boot first above the AGP unless your BIOS supports AGP. Boot.
You'd have to have that in the setup that says boot from this card first or that card first.
And then down the line, it's whatever card's closest to the processor boots first.
So if you have two PCI cards, the card closest to the CPU
will boot first.
You can see why this is a kind of an arcane science.
Yeah,
you know what the easiest way to do this? Is get a dual head card.
Yeah. And that would be the ever popular, the Matrox dual head Max. It would be the G400. If I were to spend my $300 on a single graphics card, I would spend.
He likes the Matrox.
Yeah, it's not the best 3D. It's not going to kick a GeForce 2, but it's going to be fine on 3D. They're going to have excellent driver support. You know, and it's going to cause you a lot less pain. The interesting thing, something I haven't tried, is whether or not like one of those old 200s I've got, some of the older Matrox's cards, is how well those would work in a.
The old Matrox is the one that I used that worked.
And that did work. Yeah. Matrox's drivers are always been the best. It's really solid. There's one new choice that you might want to take a look at. Haven't tried it, so I'm just telling you. You'll have to, there's a new dual head card from Hercules, the old Guillemot folks. They've got a GeForce 2 with a dual head card.
Oh, we need that.
So now that to me would be great, because then you got the best 2D, 3D solution, and you've got dual head. One card, two monitors, does all the same kinds of things. Where people say, why do you want two monitors? It's not a duplicate. They're not mirroring each other. Your desktop basically spreads to the second monitor, so you can have one window here, another window here. So it gives you twice the real estate. It's a good way to do a lot of things like video editing, where you have the controls here and the output of the video there.
Should we get that in and benchmark it?
Let's benchmark it, because we'll call it Hercules, because that looks like they make good stuff, and that looks like they're going to have a good choice. But given the fact that you already have one card, Matrox, ATI.
Yeah, try to find an old Matrox card, find an old S3 card, find an old ATI card. I mean, literally, start looking at eBay, older stuff, that $20 range.
Isn't it funny that works better than these fancy new cards?
Well, the other thing you can do is you can try loading like stock VGA drivers on some of these cards and see whether or not a stock VGA driver will actually get it to load.
Now, here's my question for you. Windows 2000, dual monitor?
You know what? I'm trying to figure that one out. I'm not sure what the Windows... It should be, because you know what? They like to do that stuff. The financial guys down on Wall Street who are running Windows 2K, Windows 2000...
They want 8 monitors.
Yeah, they do all sorts of multiple monitor stuff. I don't know what kind of native support is built in for that. So
I don't either. I've never tried it. So
you have brought us a segment idea.
We shall research. Thank you for the question. We appreciate it. Coming up next, we're going to send Patrick to chat with all of you, and we're going to show you how to do your own television studio in your basement for cheap. Alex Bennett, the king of all media, is going to show you how he does his own TV talk show over the internet. And he even switches the picture one by one by himself. It's all up when the screen in his house when the screensaver is connected. Look, he's switching it as we talk. It's amazing. TheScreenSavers.com is marooned at the center of a dead planet. Can't find any postings at Deja? Well, come to the Interact page. You can't find them there just as well. Each week we're featuring a selection from our own message boards. Actually, great classic threads, questions, and answers, and all the cheerful banter you could stomach. It's the Interact page. Helps you help yourself at TheScreenSavers.com. How'd you like to be the host of your own television show out of your basement? You can do it. It's not as crazy as it sounds. By combining new technology involved with computers and the Internet, you can actually produce and broadcast your own webcast from your home. And here to tell us all about it, a guy who's actually doing it. Alex Bennett hosts his own talk show. You can see that at www.playtv.com. And we want to welcome Alex. Of course, everybody knows Alex in the San Francisco Bay Area from your years as a great DJ on Live 105, and of course all over the country too on other stations.
Yeah.
But you do this all yourself?
All myself. I sit there in a room with two cameras and this wonderful box called a Globecaster, and I literally switch the whole thing myself.
We were talking because we both came from radio backgrounds.
Yeah.
And there's something about radio that's very intimate. You are there. You don't have a lot of other people around.
And there's almost a solitude of sorts. Mm-hmm. And it's you and then whoever is out there.
And that's magic.
Yeah, and it has a really nice feeling.
But you lose it in television because it's so technical. Yeah. There's so much other stuff. There's so many layers. So one day I said to myself, what would happen if I were to, attach some video equipment here and be able to run it myself? And obviously there was no equipment that could do that until this came along. And then I tried it with this, and it had this kind of its own aesthetic. It's a new medium. I truly believe it. And the Internet's been begging for this, because what's been happening so far with the Internet is people come from the medium they know and duplicate it.
Well,
print does print, TV does TV, radio does radio.
Well, that happened like with television. When television first started, what did they do? All the old radio shows.
Right.
And so I was seeking some kind of an aesthetic that wasn't the old stuff. It was strictly Internet.
Now, you were no stranger to computers and video, because I remember you and John C. Dvorak were nuts about the video toaster.
Right, absolutely. In fact, the people who built and created the video toaster came out to California in their little covered wagons and they started play and built this beautiful.
Now, the toaster was based on an Amiga. There's no Amiga in here.
There's no Amiga in here, no.
In fact, there's no.
They didn't make that mistake again.
Nobody will hear us.
No, I love the Amiga, but I mean, you know what happened to it. It was a stock option that went bad.
So what is this?
This is, if I were to tell people what it is a broadcast control room in a box.
Now, what's original product was Trinity, and that's inside this.
The basic core is Trinity, but then this has been expanded to become internet usable.
So, in other words, it's Trinity plus the ability to take that data, compress it, get it out to a streaming server like
or an encoder, and then out to the server, and so on. And they're available for lease through PSMG, which is a company which we are an affiliate of that is a facilitator.
Okay. And by the way, there's a front end, which is this PC,
an NT box.
Okay. Yeah. So that's how you interact with. That's the software. That's how you interact with the hardware in here.
Yeah.
Show us what you.
Well, I mean, for instance, the first thing is just the basic shot, which is me sitting in front of this beautiful window.
That's fabulous, boy. If I could do that at home.
No, but I'm sitting. I see. I'm going.
You're sitting in front of a gray screen.
In front of a gray screen.
What happened?
But now I'm sitting in front of a beautiful window. Now
how do you do that?
Now here's how we do this. On that camera over there.
So
the shooting me.
Cameras,
right? That's one of our cameras.
What are your?
Is literally a blue ring. We call that a hollow ring, and it covers the lens.
It's beaming out.
Right. It's bleeding out a blue light to a glass impregnated surface.
So this is almost like a movie screen.
Right.
Reflects.
So that what this is seeing in back of me through that lens, anything that lens sees, is keyed, so that I can put any kind of background behind me. I'm here.
So it's basically blue screen like weather people use.
Like weather people use. Look, watch this. Now I'm in the newsroom.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's a beautiful key. It's a perfect key.
It does.
Unlike regular television, where you have to light for hours to get a perfect blue screen, it's nuts.
Oh, it's nuts.
This thing you can set up in seconds, and you can actually turn off the lights in here, and it was still key.
You use this on your show. You actually have a set, but it's not a real set. It's a virtual set.
Right. I use similar to that bay window. This is an old version of it.
Right.
And we have all the grammar of television. We have the dissolves, and I can cut back and forth between two cameras, all using keystrokes.
So this is what's amazing to me. You're hosting the show, but at the same time, you're also the director of the show from your keyboard right there.
Right.
So you're pressing buttons.
Yeah. Somebody once said to me, the difference between my show and regular television is when I start talking, the camera goes to me.
Every time.
Yeah, because I know when I'm going to start talking.
Absolutely. You control it. Yeah. What else can you do with it?
You can do a lot of things. I mean, you do things like... do
you do the graphics for the show as well?
I do a lot of the graphics for the show. Okay. Yeah, a great deal of the graphics for the show.
So the interface is very nice. All on the screen.
Well, for instance, you can do credits. You can do a credit roll, although I'm not, it's not...
how about your show open? You got that in there, right?
Oh, here, I'll show you this. That's good. You'll like this. This is the opening to my show, and this is
all done with a Globecaster.
Look at that. Wow. That's done in a program called Panimation. Panimation is like a paint program.
Run it again so we can see it full screen.
But it's also an animation as well. They call it Panimation because you can do artwork.
Every bit as good as a network.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, we've got some openings. That was one of the earlier ones they did. We have one with for Revelstoke Jim, who does a show from Revelstoke, British Columbia, that's got a big compass with the compass thing moving and everything.
Now, why don't we see more of these Trinities and Globecasters and television stations?
I think you will as time goes on. I mean, I think that, for instance, for a television station, for a small little television station somewhere, it's perfect. For even a cable outfit starting,
right.
It's perfect, and they are being used in a lot of those places. It's been used in a lot of different movies.
I was at WHYY in Philadelphia. They have a Trinity.
For instance, you see the movie Ed TV?
Yeah.
All the lower thirds in that movie were done with this box.
Cool.
Yeah.
Lower thirds are the text that they put at the bottom. Like right there's a lower third broadcast.
Well, I can also put a lower third in my picture too. If you go to my picture,
let's see what Alex has put.
Yeah.
Okay, enough of the lower third.
Yeah. Show my lower third. There we are.
But the infamous Christy Cam.
The infamous Christy Cam 2000.
Now, can you do 3D graphics too? 3D renderings like that?
They do. They have. Yes, no, you can't. There's not a 3D rendering program in here. However, we are Play has another company called Electric Image, which does 3D equipment, and soon I'm sure there will be something that goes with the Trinity.
You showed me something very cool though with the reflecting. Can you show me the reflecting water?
Okay.
I love that.
Let me turn off the background here.
All right.
And let me see if I can get this. Let me get myself.
So you could do this all.
Now, look at this. By the way, you see the blue in back of me.
Wow.
But look at that.
Now, folks, look at the water, because you see how it's in the water.
And I am reflecting real-time. This real-time ray tracing. There is no other piece of equipment besides Globecaster on the entire planet that does this.
Order today. Only $99.95.
And if you order right now.
Now, you can't buy a Globecaster.
You can't buy a Globecaster. They're PSMG.
Okay. Yeah. So the idea is you come to them and say, I want to do a show.
Yeah.
I have this idea.
They help you get it. They get the box, and they can help you with the bandwidth and all the facilitation.
But this is your dream originally, right? And
what? Well, not the box.
But just the idea of doing this.
I always had a dream of doing TV sitting in a room by myself, Yeah, because I don't like other human beings.
It's weird, but I have the same.
It's very antisocial, isn't it?
So, do you foresee a future where people are able to do that?
I see the future is here now. I mean, there are a lot of people using Globecasters now. A lot of the major video-based websites are using people like Sudo and so on. And I think eventually you're going to see people starting to use this equipment like we use it to do their own personalized broadcasting.
I love that.
And I think the next star. I mean, I said this once. The next star in television is going to be your next door neighbor from next door.
Good.
That's
how it should be. It's democratizing the medium.
Let me just say one thing about this piece of equipment. I'm not selling these things. I do a little show. I got a little lemonade stand where I do my show every day for Play TV.
That's wonderful.
From 2 to 4.
West Coast.
West Coast.
Okay.
And I don't sell these things for a living, but I got to tell you, this is an amazing piece of equipment.
Yeah.
I mean, in the last year, I would say if we had a computer this reliable, we'd all be happy. I'm serious. This thing has been on night and day for the last year and has never gone down on me once.
That's great. Very reliable.
Very reliable. And that's important in television.
Absolutely. You don't want it to go down.
Yeah.
You can catch Alex's act, as he said, from 5 to 7 East Coast time, 2 to 4 West Coast time at playtv.com.
And there are a lot of other shows, too.
Yeah, lots of good. Kiki's on there.
So Kiki's
Everybody
there at noon, and at 4, there's 2 guys on the couch, and Brian Mallow's on right now. There he is.
He's at CDC.
Now you see, he's got the blue screen in back of him, and he's
there's David Sparks.
kissing your butt, putting ZDTV back there.
So he's controlling it.
Yeah, he's controlling the camera.
And that's what it'll look like if you go there on the website.
And Will Wilkins is on at 10. Revelstoke Jim from British Columbia. From an old 100-year-old house.
Yeah. Well, this is what it's all about for me, is making it available to everybody. That's what the computer's about. That's what the Internet's about.
I'd like to think that what Gutenberg did for printing, this is going to do for television.
Alex, it's great to have you. I really appreciate it. Alex Bennett, ladies and gentlemen, play.com. If you want more information about Internet broadcasting, visit our website at thescreensavers.com for a whole lot more information. Stay where you are. Still to come on this very television program. Programming the Mac. Will it change your life? We'll show you an easy way. We'll show you the hard way. Then we've got some more of those darn live calls. They're pesky, but they're here. And Tommy Dawes pays a visit to the folks at Frog on today's Fresh Gear. All that and more as the Screensavers hops on. Welcome back to the Screensavers. Moi, je suis Leo Laporte.
I don't speak no French, but I'm Patrick Norton. Thank you for joining us.
How you doing? Today in the chat room, this is serious. We're dead serious. Do your pets need to surf? There is a study going on right now, fully funded at MIT, to teach a parrot You search the internet so it doesn't get lonely when it's home all by itself.
What if it just flew?
Holy, what a hacker! Holy, what a hacker! Don't hit the bird.
Sorry.
Get PETA all over us. And it's very hard to get out. So the question is, do you think pets? Apparently they're not having much success. By the way, and birds are smart. I'm not kidding. Birds are smarter than cats and dogs. Did you know that? Not that bird particularly. So it's just sleeping. So the question is, should birds and pets be able to surf? I don't know. I think we've exhausted this subject. Go to the website, thescreensavers.com, and cast your vote. Let us know what site would your pet go to if it could. Petopia? No. I think Jenny Cam.
Oh.
Thomas on the ZDTV Netcam Network from Summit, New Jersey. Hello, Thomas.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
What's up?
Nothing.
Here's one of the magnets for you. You want a magnet?
Okay.
Okay, put your hand up. He's looking at me like I'm a little weird. Whoa! You got it! Very nicely done.
You want a parrot?
You want a parrot?
No thanks.
Good man. What can we do for you, Thomas?
I was gonna set up a home network, and we have 2 Windows machines and a Linux machine.
Okay.
And I wanted to use the home phone line networking. And the Linux machine has a Ethernet card in it, and I was wondering if the home phone line networking products that you can that you plug into your Ethernet card would work with Linux.
Unfortunately, you're probably out of luck on this one because right now the home P&A, you would require Linux drivers for that. I don't think anybody has Linux drivers for the home P&A cards. Do we have home P&A org up? Or
I'm just looking to see if there's any support. It looks like there's a company called ADM Tech that might be doing home P&A for Linux. Basically, home P&A, we should explain what that is, uses your phone lines instead of having to put networking wire everywhere. So what you'll do is you'll get a home P&A kit, let's say for your PC, where you plug a card in. That card isn't really a standard Ethernet card. It is a card that will support Ethernet over phone lines. So it has a phone jack, an RJ11 jack in it, which goes to the wall, and then another computer also can plug into the same phone line, another jack down the hall. And it apparently works quite well. Right. We're seeing really good results. And I've even been told that home P&A 2.0, which is the current version, can be upgraded to speeds faster than traditional Ethernet.
That would be nice.
So it's really not Ethernet. It's something different from Ethernet. It's P&A. So right now they're hardware specific, so platform specific. So there's Mac and there's PC, and that's it. The Mac version is from Farallon Systems, by the way, and they just got bought by Proxim.
And there's a half dozen companies that are doing the PC version of it.
But
Linux.
Now I just did a search, and it looks like somebody is using something from ADM Tech on Linux. So what we're going to have to do is, this is new to me. I hadn't heard of that. I'm going to see if we can do a little research on this and see if we can figure out who the ADM Tech is and where you can get these. But you can't just take your existing home P&A. You need the drivers.
Right.
And you need hardware that's compatible.
Otherwise, it won't work.
Okay?
Okay.
So, but you know what? Maybe there's a way to do it. And I'm just going to continue searching and find out if anybody's done something that will work. Like, for instance, Bay Network's Phone Gear Network, the guy's looking for, are there drivers for Linux? And apparently not. So what you're going to have to do is find drivers for Linux for the various cards. Yeah. I see here there's not yet a Linux Ethernet USB driver. But that may come in time. Home P&A is going to be a big breakthrough technology, I believe. Really is great stuff. Okay?
Okay.
Hey, we appreciate the call, but you know what? I got some bad news.
What?
Remember we were talking about hosting your own TV show earlier?
We're going to make you work for this.
It's your turn.
Okay.
You ready?
Uh-huh.
All right, I'm going to go chat.
Okay.
Take us to break, Thomas.
Thanks, Pat and Leo. Sumi DOS pops over to Frog Design when the screensavers continues.
Very good. Now, see that window behind you? I want you to... Never mind.
No, Leo.
Bad parrot. Hey, thanks. Good job.
Screensavers.com. People call it Watusi. No, just kidding. This week we're going to be studying computers and politics. What's that all about? Tell you what, dump your book, take this week's Super Geek Challenge. You can serve your country, exercise your country. Oh my God! We're under attack to win a free Screensavers t-shirt or cap. Where are you asking? Screensavers.com. And congratulations to Gregory from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, winner of yesterday's. Is there a Snurf dart in my neck? Yes, there is. Yesterday's Super Geek Quiz t-shirt or cap. Can we see Tuck sporting that? Can we get him up there? Now here's Sumi Dawes with a keen introspective of frog design on today's Fresh Gear.
The goal of Frog is, in their words, to take technology and bring beauty to the world. While Frog is well known for its industrial or product design, their domain also includes brands and digital media. They've helped large companies like SAP change their image and worked with websites such as wine.com to improve their look and feel. As diverse as these projects might appear, each one adheres to Frog's core design philosophy.
At Frog, we actually practice form follows emotion. So every consumer, when they actually first pick up a product, it brings up an emotion in them. And what we're doing is we're capturing that emotion and we're helping express that. Evoking emotion through design involves many people and much creativity. It begins in a typically frog-like manner. Everyone gets together and no idea is a bad idea at that point. And we have a lot of fun. We just hack out lots of different ideas, sketch a lot, throw up all sorts of different blue sky issues and put them all on the wall. And then from there we can start narrowing down to different preferred designs. From there, collaboration with the client is continuous throughout, but the process varies depending on the project. For a website, the digital team works on the user interface. If it's a product, the mechanical engineers are consulted. An in-house model shop lets designers see their sketches come to life. And branding experts ensure that the company's image is effectively and aesthetically conveyed. So while it may seem like a lofty aspiration to bring beauty to the world, judging from Frog's impressive body of work, they seem to be on the right track.
You can get some new Fresh Gear every weekend afternoon at 12:30 East right here on TechTV. In case you didn't know what that sound was you heard earlier, it was Scott Harriet bombarding me with a Snurf gun. In the meantime, here's an email from Steven. He asks, I have grown up to become a graphic designer using the Macintosh platform. I would really like to explore Java and C++ on the Mac, but I have no clue as to what software resources are available to do so. Do you have any suggestions? You know what? Leo went out, got the info, and he's going to jump you all right into the world of programming on the Macintosh when the Screensavers continues.
So here's that email from Stephen. He's grown up, which is nice. Thanks for announcing that to the world, Stephen. And he's a graphic designer, but he wants to start programming on the Macintosh. And, well, I think it's a great question. I want to encourage you to program on any platform. Programming is one of the most fun, challenging, and exciting things you can do.
It's a sublime expression of the human intelligence.
It is.
As much as Leo likes to practice. Me, I hack hardware.
Yeah, and everybody's different. But I think once you get into programming, it's very seductive, very fun. But it's a lot of work. Programming is a lot more typing than you think, and a lot more reading. Now, I brought with me just some basic manuals. For instance, you mentioned Java on the Mac. Well, here's the Java API manuals. Things you're going to have to not read cover to cover, but you're going to have access to and be able to search just to learn how to do some basic things. Any GUI, Windows or Macintosh, has an elaborate API. They call it API, or Application Programming Interface, or Programmer's Interface. It's the way you draw windows, you make menus, you interact with the computer. And when you learn to program on a Mac or Windows, you're going to learn the API. And that is literally hundreds, maybe thousands of programming calls that you have to learn.
That's the building blocks. You don't have to do it all from scratch.
Well, and it's good to learn it because, what would be worse is having to figure out how to draw a window each time and doing all the code.
Here.
Right, it would be too hard.
Here.
So in a way, it is doing you a favor, but it's a lot to learn. If you want to do C, C++, or Java on the Mac, I'm going to highly, strongly encourage you to get this. This is called Code Warrior. It's available on Windows as well. It's an excellent C compiler. This one's cross-platform, means you can write Windows code on it. You can also write Palm code on it, even embedded applications using it. It is a very nice C compiler. Let me just show you. And it comes with a lot of documentation. If we look in the documentation folder of Code Warrior, it actually comes with books. Learn C on the Mac, learn C++ on the Mac, and learn Java on the Mac. These are PDF files, so you're probably going to want to print them out ahead of time. You're certainly not going to want to read them on the screen, but the books are there, the information is there. There's also a lot of information on Apple's website. If you go to apple.com and go to their developers site, there's tons of information there. But my point being is there's a lot to learn. Let me just show you real quickly. I'll use some Code Warrior examples and show you what it looks like to write an application on Code Warrior for the Macintosh. I'm going to use PowerPlant, which is their GUI development tool. And we'll just do the appearance demo. What I'm going to do is open what's called the IDE, which is the Programming Interface, the Integrated Development Environment. And this is a program that's never been compiled, so it has a lot of source code.
So this is the compiler you're running now?
Yeah, we're in the IDE, which is going to run the compiler. You use the IDE to edit these source code files. This is C++ source code. You create it, and then you'll compile it. And I'm just going to do Command-R, which will compile and run this. And this is the compiler at work. Now, this is a very fast compiler. This program has nearly 750,000 lines in code. It'll compile for us in about 30 seconds. You see, we're already up to 250,000 lines of code that have been compiled. As it's compiling, you can see, and let me close this. You can see what it's doing. It's actually filling in the object files, the compiled files for this program. These are all starting to fill in, and you can see the size of it as it compiles. Once it's fully compiled, it'll actually run. One of the reasons I like this environment is the cycle of writing, compiling, and running. There it is. Now it's running. You see how quickly it did that. 750,000 lines of code in like a minute? Less than 30 seconds. And this is just a demo of the user interface. That's all we're seeing here. It's a very simple program. But in order to do this, you have to understand the Macintosh API in great detail. So I don't recommend that you start writing Macintosh code this way. It's actually how I started, but it's a hard way to go. This wasn't around when I started writing Mac software. Real Basic. We've talked about it before. It is like Visual Basic. This is a demo. You can download a demo on the Internet. You don't need to know the Mac API because it has basically drag and drop tools that you just can add. So I can drag a text box there, and it makes it very easy to do. So start with Real Basic, download the demo, and then if you want to move up to Java and C++ in Mac, go to Code Warrior. Coming up, email our favorites when the screensavers continue.
Hi, I'm Flipper, and I would like to tell you that Patrick and Leah will be right back when the screensavers continues.
Welcome back to the Screensavers. Here are the preliminary results of today's web poll. Do your pets need to surf? Yes! 16% of you say yes. 52% of you say no. And 33% of you say no. You still have 24 hours to vote, folks, and that's not all. You got a ton of ways for you to let your voice be heard, and they're all at thescreensavers.com.
I want to thank all 60 of you for voting. Okay, this is the time we do our email reads. You got one that I want to talk about, so read that one there.
Hey, just wanted to ask opinion of Windows ME. I heard it was going to be released on the public on September 14th, and it's already being shipped to OEMs.
Yeah, and all the reviewers got their copies this week, and the NDA, the non-disclosure agreement, expired. So we can talk about it now. In fact, I just installed it today. You installed it yesterday. We've been playing with it. It's basically Windows 98. It's not a lot different.
It's a little smoother. They yanked out the DOS support. They cleaned up some of the drivers. It actually detected a software incompatibility before it installed itself, which to me is a wonderful addition.
There's a new video editing program that comes with it. There's a new Windows Media Player. I think the biggest change really is there's no more DOS prompt. You can have a DOS compatibility box as in Windows 2000, but there's no exiting to the DOS prompt. So if you have software that requires you to do that, it won't work.
Could be a problem.
It's the beginning of the end for DOS, but I don't think it's an upgrade that many people will go for. I don't see the need.
No. Conversely, if you're getting a new computer, it's probably not a bad idea.
Oh, yeah, certainly get it with the support. You know what? We're going to show it to you in the weeks to come, and we'll have a lot more coverage of Windows ME. That's the next edition of Windows due out in September.
That's it for this edition of the Screensavers. I'm Patrick Norton.
I'm Leo Laporte. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.